What's up, Orange Theory family? I am here with
Hi, Sydney.
Sydney. All right, so we're going to talk just a little bit about what our programming is going to be doing from the member base. So our program is changing. If I never told you that it was going to change, you probably wouldn't notice because it's a lot of small intentional changes that a common member probably isn't going to really notice. On the flip side, I genuinely feel that our biggest enemy is going to be Reddit. The people who are on Reddit, our first 2 weeks, I don't think it's going to be anything different. But as soon as the 16th comes around, they're going to say, guys, we have done this workout before. And then, I do believe a small population knows that we're going to be repeating because they read it on Reddit. But once the 16th comes around, they're going to be like, I think everything's just kind of kept bust open. So, as coaches, as sales associates, what can we do? Well, what I talked to Dublin staff about was simply the lack of negativity. Now, not saying to be positive, because if somebody says, we did this workout again, we don't want to tell them, be positive about it. Be glad you're here, because nobody wants to be told that they need to stay positive. So, I gave the example. There was the 2000 Browns. They got sold, ended up winning the Super Bowl, but they moved to Baltimore, right? And an entire staff, the entire team, all the players, they had to uproot their families and move out to Baltimore. So there was a lot of negativity in the locker room. All these players, coaches, staff, GMs, they all had to uproot everything, and they complained about it. So the wife had every good reason to complain to their husband about, I have to find a new circle of friends. Our kids have to go to a new school. We've got to get a new house. We lost stuff in the move. They all had valid reasons, but what ended up happening was during the preseason, they lost 2 games. I believe it was in a row, but that negativity ended up just kind of snowballing. All of a sudden, they're complaining about linemen not blocking for them, wide receivers not running the routes properly. This coach sucks, or this player's on my case. It was just the negativity just built up and built up. So they brought a sports psychologist in, and instead of saying that they needed to start being more positive, they just said, let's take the negativity out of the equation. So not necessarily be positive, definitely don't be negative, but just if you do have something negative to say, just don't say it. Lack of negativity is going to be kind of creating the locker room, at least the locker room leadership. So all of a sudden, their entire culture shifts because instead of saying, man, it's stupid cold outside, all of a sudden they just didn't say anything. And they found more positive things to kind of focus on. And not saying that was the key indicator, but they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So they had this big cloud over them with all the negativity, and all of a sudden that wasn't there. Now, not saying that they would have won the Super Bowl even with all that, but the big thing is that's one difficulty that they no longer had to deal with. So let's just say we have negative members. They might have a good reason to be negative. They might be mad. They want to get under your skin. They want to vent. All that I'm asking coaches and SAs is don't feed into the negativity. Negativity is very contagious, and it can be tough, but you have to understand where they're coming from. At the same time, you can't feed into what they're saying. But how about the member who is trying to get under your skin, right? So we have different members. Maybe they just say things passively, but there's some that want you to react. Well, let's just say it is a member that gets under your skin. Maybe you have a history. Maybe you have every right to be upset with them and be annoyed by them, and they just get under your skin very, very easily. There's a million ways to cope with this. I'm a head coach. You're more than welcome to complain up. So coaches complain to their head coaches and just tell us about it. You can vent to us. Our studio manager, our assistant studio manager, Brooke and Emily, those are the people that you vent to. But if somebody's getting under your skin, whether it's staff, whether it's members, whatever else, you can deal with it however you want. But at some point, I say that you have to let it go because the longer you hold on to something, really anything, the harder it gets. I could take this bottle of water, right, about a third of the way full, and I could hold it here, right? At first, it's not going to be long, but if an hour goes by, my shoulder's going to get tired. I'm going to my grip's going to get tired, my forearm, my bicep might be burning. The longer I hold on to it, the harder it feels, the tougher it gets. So you can deal with it. You can confront people. You can do everything that you want to do. But at some point, you have to let stuff go. So as customer service kind of demands, we have got to cater to the member. So if we're not going to confront them about it, which typically you wouldn't, then you have to let it go. So having the negativity just roll off your back might be something that you really have to just kind of come to that understanding that you can't take issue with everything, and there's some battles that you're never going to win. That being the case, again, head coach, ASM, studio manager, we're all here to support you and show you help and everything else that you need. But when it comes to members, you can listen, you can empathize, you can sympathize, but don't feed into the negativity. That's rule number one.